bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kábíni sínú ọlọ́lá kò pé kéèyàn ó lọ́lá ká tọ́ni dàgbà nílé olókìkí kò pé ká yóò mọ̀nìyàn ṣùgbọ́n bí orí bá ti gbéni là á pè nílé àyànmọ́ èyí ló bí àkànṣe ètò tí a pè ní ipa tèmi fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tí yóò máa dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín níkànnì Aloore rédíò níbi tí arábìnrin Yétúndé Fádípẹ̀ Ọládépò yóò ti máa gbàlejò àwọn tí wọ́n ti làmìlaka nínú iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yàn láàyò iṣẹ́ ìjọba òṣèlú okòwò bí wọ́n ṣe gòkè àti àwọn ohun tí wọ́n fi kó ìjọba lọ́wọ́ lórí àwọn nǹkan kò ṣe má ní ládùúgbò tàbí àyíká ibi tí wọ́n tẹ̀dó sí láti mú ìdàgbàsókè tó lóòrìn bá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ipa tèmi fún ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ lórí Aloore rédíò ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun aago 3 ọ̀sán títí di 4 gbẹ̀rẹ́ ẹ fi èrò yín àti àwọn ohun tí ó fẹ́ àtúnṣe ní agbègbè yín ránṣẹ́ sórí ètò lórí ìtàkùn àgbáyé www.aloreradio.com tàbí ìtàkùn ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ Facebook Aloore rédíò ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló jẹ wá lógún.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to Aloore Radio.
Ìdàgbàsókè àti jíìlẹ̀ ti mọ́ bí ó ń ṣọmọ kékeré mọ́. When do you call me?
We are transmitting from the GSM studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.
Ọ̀rọ̀ wáyé kádà rẹ̀ dákò máa dọ́gba. Àyànmọ́ ògbógun mo ní orílẹ̀ lẹ́jọ́. My mama won't stop me say I go. Ìdàgbàsókè.
In the name of the Almighty God, who has kept us till this moment, we told you yesterday that we're coming back for the new episode of My Impact, and God made it possible for us. We thank you, God. We give you all praises.
Okay.
In the name of the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, Mrs. Boyede Ojo, the studio manager, and Deji Olawoyin, the studio engineer, I welcome you to another episode of My Impact.
Never bothered myself what the people said, but now I'm doing what I can tell what's right from wrong, and I can spend my life going forward. I'll never.
I am here today, Fadipe Oladepo, the anchor for the program.
I'm not counting backwards, cause I'm going forward. Oh yeah, I bet you know, never counting 10 to 1.
Àpótí ìdàgbàsókè gan. Iwájú la máa máa lọ àti iwájú la máa máa lọ àti iwájú la máa máa lọ àti
Now watch me fly into space with no spaceship. You can never meet me there if you take a trip. My life is a movie.
On the program today, I have a guest in the house, in person of the Oyo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, who is ably represented by Mr. Olayiwola Awolowo, the Public Affairs Officer, INEC, Oyo State. It has been the intention of the Resident Electoral Commissioner to be on the program today, but he has apologized because he got an urgent call, an official call.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He has deemed it fit to send Mr. Olayiwola Awolowo, the Public Affairs Officer, INEC, Oyo State. In the entourage is Ms. Dupe Oguns, Mr. Adetono Matthew, Ms. Bolaji Akanji.
Nigga thank God say I no be dolly. Ọlọ́run tó ní erin nílẹ̀ tó fi ṣọba nínú igbó. èmi jùlí bàbá mo ti dé mo jọba orin òwe lọ̀rọ̀ ayé kádà rẹ̀ dákò máa dọ́gba àyànmọ́ ògbógun mo ní orílẹ̀ lẹ́jọ́ my mama won't stop me say agogo ìdàgbàsókè.
As we all know that the 2023 general election is around the corner, so we deem it fit to call on the resident electoral commissioner for Oyo State on their preparedness for the 2023 general election. I mean credible, conclusive, fair and free election.
ìdàgbàsókè. ìdàgbàsókè.
Buckle my shoe, 3, 4, knock out the door, 5, 6, feet of 6, 7, 8, let them straight, 9, 10, a big fat M. I remember my fever days when I move up and down, never knew my way, never bothered myself what the people said, but now I'm going back until what's right.
The resident electoral commissioner for Oyo State, Dr. Mutiu Agboke, is on the line. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. You're welcome to my impact on Aloore Radio.
thank you.
Yes, sir. You have a word for the audience because people have been waiting for you to show up on the program.
Yeah, but I think I'm represented there.
Okay, sir.
So, and I'm sure my staff there must have said everything that borders on the policy of the commission. The important thing I would just add to it is that the commission is encouraging all Nigerians, particularly all people of Oyo State, to go out there, collect their PVC, or do the registration. Because without it, you will not be able to exercise your right to vote. So people should know this as a fact, and there is a need for all of us to key into it that the commission is doing.
Okay, sir. What has been the sensitization and mobilization techniques that you have put on ground for this?
No, but what we are doing, what you have invited us for, is one of the platforms for the sensitization. And you know that INEC will continue to sensitize, will continue to talk. I know, because I know, in a young state we have been talking, and we have never rested one day or stopped from talking to people. So if we don't talk to people, people will not understand exactly what we are doing. So the talking that we need, and that talking is necessary, and that is why we are, disposed to any invitation from anybody in whatever manner. So we'll continue to engage with you. We have been going to media houses. We have been inviting our people for stakeholder engagement. We have moved around, and we always call for the support of the Ministry of Information in Oyo State to join us in this gospel. It's not a particular thing. It's a tool that we need to let the people know. Awareness is key to anything we want to do. If people do not know, there's nobody that will do anything. It is not of the election that we should realize that people are not aware. We must put that by now, a lot of people are not aware of so many things. So it is the awareness we need to create, and that is why we have been going around. We have been to different traditional institutions. We have been to, media platforms. We have engaged various non-government organizations, and we will continue to do that for people to know before the election.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything like credible, free and fair election?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir.
If there is no credible, free and fair election, we will not have peace in Oyo State. And I'm saying this with all authority. If there's no free and fair election, I'm not saying the election we conducted was the most perfect. People should understand some of these issues in context. We are not saying we have organized the perfect and the best election. No. There could be directives, there could be issues here and there. But we are saying that as a matter of fact, INEC has improved tremendously in our election. And in Abuja, that I'm talking to you, they are having a review of the conduct of the area council election in Abuja. What we have seen in this area council election in Abuja is a tremendous improvement from what used to happen. And for me, and for you, and for everybody, you cannot but agree that there is free and fair election. That is not to say that there are pockets of challenges here and there.
Thank you, sir. But in your last like a couple of months, you stated that the voters list will be displayed at the 33 local governments. Have you done that, sir?
You didn't get what we told you.
Okay,
and I want the media to always be in tune with what INEC is doing.
Okay.
See, when we said we are going to display, it is not just a display for displaying sake. We are going to display for people to correct their names if INEC has made a mistake, or to identify somebody who does not belong to that particular local government. That has been done almost 1 or 2 months ago. And people have done that. We have consolidated. We are in the process of printing the PVC. As I speak to you now, we are on the third phase of the continuous process registration. That is what is ongoing.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your calling. I would like to ask, inconclusive polls. Please, can you explain the antics and the implications?
There is no implication. There is nothing. It is a thing that you don't preempt. You will only have such a situation depending on what happens. If there are so many cancellations, if there are so many problems leading to the cancellation of non-conclusion of a poll, of course, the election there will be inconclusive. But what INEC is talking against is an orchestrated inconclusive process. The politician working towards making election inconclusive. INEC will not allow that. But if that situation genuinely arises, we will apply our rule and the needful will be done to conclude the election and the result will be announced.
Thank you, sir. How prepared is INEC towards the 2023 election as regards your devices to be used?
That is what we are telling, we have been talking about. We are prepared. We use beavers, our machines in the just completed area council election. In Abuja that I am now, that is what we are reviewing. We are reviewing the performance of this machine. We are looking at the pros and cons with a view to improving it. So we are going to improve. So after this meeting today, we are going to have some by-elections across Nigeria to be conducted on the same day. The same machine will be used. I want to say here again that when are those days when INEC will use, incident form. When are those days when INEC will use smart card reader. No more incident form, no more smart card reader. It is now beavers. It is now beavers. This beavers is the one that will authenticate, your identity to show that you are the real it is real you that has come to accredit. It also takes picture, it captures the result of the election for purpose of transmission. So we are going to use this machine. All the latest or the image.
I think we lost that call. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your call. Now back to the Public Affairs Officer, Mr. Olaiwola Awolowo. Because I would like to ask multiple registration. How do you handle this?
Thank you very much. We always emphasize this, that voters registrants should not indulge in multiple registration. But in case such happens, there is a device we have. We call it ABIS, Automatic Biometric Identification System. Automatic Biometric Identification System, ABIS. The essence of this is to weed out multiple registration. Peradventure, a voter indulges in such, then we are going to apply this system. So I will implore the registrant not to involve themselves in multiple registration.
Okay. Now this is a season of PVC buying. The politicians will come to you, they will seek your support. They want to buy PVC ahead of the 2023 election.
There is nothing of such, of saying you can buy PVC, because it's personal to each voter. The issue of saying buying is out of it. Put in place what you have now. You know, my commissioner mentioned beavers. Basically, it does three things: verification, authentication, and individual loading of result at the polling units. So the essence of beavers is just to check and cross-check: are you the true owner of that PVC? So the issue of somebody buying it is out of it. It will not work, because that's the essence of the beavers.
There are some people that use Aloore.
No, this time around, with what you have put in place, such cannot work again.
Okay.
It can't.
The continuous voters registration. How do you think people are aware of this exercise?
Of course, people are aware,
and they are coming in to register.
You don't forget that one of the functions of the commission is to compile, maintain, revise, and update voter register.
Yeah.
Having said this, CVR comes in. And what is CVR? CVR, it means continuous voters registration. It's a continual thing. The commission started this last year, June.
Okay.
We started with pre-registration.
Okay.
After, we now started the physical registration.
Okay.
That was July the same year, last year.
Right.
Now, it's in two parts. Two parts in the sense that first we have the pre-registration. These are for people who are just turned 18 years of age, or you have not registered before. Then this applies to you. And what do? You just interact with the system. You go to our website, www.inecnigeria.org, cvr.inecnigeria.org.
You can call that again.
cvr.inecnigeria.org. That's the website you go for pre-registration. cvr.inecnigeria.org. As you enter, it will ask you basic things. Are you a new registrant, or you have not registered before?
Okay.
So many things it's going to ask. If you have not registered before, then it's going to take your metrics, date of birth, your name, and what have you. Where do you intend to have your register? I mean, what do you intend to
be
vote?
Registered?
Yes. Now all these things will be asked. Then it's going to take your picture.
Okay.
That does not mean you have completed the registration. No, you still have. You'll be given a code. It is that code that we bring to our office, state office, or INEC offices, local government nearest offices to you, where you intend to register. I went to vote on the day of election. Having done that, then we are going to take your the fingerprint, the 10 fingers will be taken. Then the facial. It tell you, frown your face, laugh, just to identify. Yes. Having done that, then you can say, I've completed my registration. That is one. The second aspect, not only that you are just registering, or you are just turned 18 and you want to register, it's also for those who want to do a review, voter review, call it voter review, transfer. Maybe your card is defamed, you can do that. Then you want to update your information. Then you want to collect. You can tell you, okay, this is where your card is. Go to so place, or you want to replace them. All these things are lost. Yes. All these things are the things you can use. You can do under this portal, so to speak. So the issue of voter review, it just tell you, okay, maybe the picture in your former PVC is not clear enough, then you can click on that.
Okay.
Or you want to update your information, maybe one thing or the other, then you go to information update, transfer the same thing.
Okay.
All these things are facilities put in place by the commission to make sure that we have a seamless process towards CVR.
Okay. But what of those illiterate? You said they can go to the portal.
Very good. The illiterate
Is
too.
there any
Yes,
assistance?
yes. You know, I said there are two ways. Pre-registration,
Okay.
you start online, you interact with the system, then you still come to our office. Then the physical
finish
one, yes, the physical one, we call it, the commission operates on what we call INEC voter enrollment device, IVED. Basically, it's for physical registration.
Okay.
In other words,
That
their
will be
agent-
after the one that we will have done on the portal.
you see, yes, your system, you interact with your system at home
First.
or yes. Then you now bring the code to our office.
Okay.
It is the code that you bring to our office, then we now complete the registration for you.
Okay.
What we are using in our offices, like local government office and state office, is called IVED, INEC voter enrollment device. It's meant for physical registration.
Okay. What
So-
I'm now saying is those people that cannot
Yes.
handle the internet,
That's what I'm saying. Just walk across to state office
To the state.
or
any local
INEC
government.
local government that is nearest to you that you think that's where you're going to vote, then you register there. Every other thing will be done to you. Under 5 minutes, you are done. So there is no issue of maybe we are trying to disenfranchise people not to vote. No.
So after the final registration, how long will it take before one can get the PVC?
You see, my commission mentioned something. You mentioned about display and what have you.
Yeah.
Normally, this exercise comes up for it's 3 months. 3 months.
3 months.
Yes. After 3 months, then we stop.
Okay.
We now we go into what is called claims and objection,
Okay.
where you allow those who have registered to come and check their names. Perhaps there is any mistake or any sort, or there is anything. Then that is the essence of the display of voter register. It is from there. Then if there is any mistake of any sort, then we correct it before we now collate, harvest all the names together.
Okay.
Thereafter, we now look at our database and see if everything is in place. Later, we are on 3rd quarter now. We'll be going to the 4th quarter. After the 4th quarter, then we now harvest everything together. Then we now start printing. But those who are on transfer first will be dealt with before we now start printing out
the
rest.
new
Yes.
registrants.
Yes.
Okay.
Not only the new registrants, those who maybe you do transfer or we do updates, we will surely give you a new one with us.
Okay. What are the prerequisites that you have put in place
In terms of,
this coming election?
thank you. You see, right from 2019,
Okay.
that we ended the last general election, the commission has started working, strategizing on this coming 2023 general election. What we first did was we expand the voter access, having access to polling units.
Okay.
What we did was we initially we have polling units and voting points.
Okay.
So what the commission did was converting the voting points to polling units.
To polling
Yes.
units.
In other words, there's some places that are so crowded, or we place voting points in an appropriate place. We now change them. We have them some in shrine, religious places, which is not good. All those things the INEC first dealt with. After that, we now say, okay, let's create this what we call voting points to normal polling units. That's what we did. Initially, we have 4,783 polling units
In Oyo State.
initially, before we now added about 1,607 to the initial one, making a total of 6,319 polling units we have in Oyo State. And the whole essence to ensure that we have a seamless exercise towards CVR. Okay. Having done that, we now started CVR on 28th last year. That's what the commission has put in place. It's not only that, there are so many innovations the commission has been embarking on, like what we mentioned, beavers, abees, or what have you. These are the innovation the commission is putting in place to ensure that we have a seamless 2023 general election.
The election is around the corner, and the political parties, what is your relationship with political parties?
It has been full. It's very cordial. You know, there's what is called IPAC. It's a body. It comprises all the political parties. Okay. They are executive. So the IPAC manages all the political parties we have. Okay. Don't forget, we have 18 political parties presently in the country, but in Oyo State we have 17. Okay. So IPAC is a body, or what I say, a body we relate with. Not only that we are relating with them, but also the political parties themselves. We have cordial relations with them. We do a lot of stakeholders meeting with all of them. Okay. So it's not that we have left them behind. All these political parties, we always have cordial relationship with them.
Okay. We'll be right back after the short break.
ọgbà tí a ṣe jiná lóde ìrànjẹ́ làwọn aláṣẹ ìjókòó tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa jẹ ọba ni wọ́n ṣe gàyà díẹ̀ ná ìlú ló láṣẹ ẹjẹ́ ìlú ó jẹun náà ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ìlú là ń fowó ìlú ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀rí bí ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wa ṣe ń jògèrè LAUTECH ti di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé bíi 40 ló ti wẹ̀wọ̀ ọ̀tún pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tòun tòògùn àti irinṣẹ́ tó pójú owó iṣẹ́ sì ti fẹ́ẹ̀ parí pẹ̀lú lórí 100 míì jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ààbò tó dájú ohun amáyédẹrùn ní ìṣokùnfà ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá láwùjọ òun náà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fi wà nípò kẹta nínú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ń pawó wọlé jùlọ lábẹ́lé nílẹ̀ wa ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ló ti láǹfààní ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé táṣeyọrí yìí ó sì jẹ́ kó ń jẹ́ sùn wá bọ̀ láìpẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ń gbowó wọn lásìkò pápá àṣírí Adámàsìngbà àtàwọn inú ojú pópó tí ń sòrú dọ̀sán kọ́ àwọn ìlú ti sọ pásì ìwádùn níṣèjọba yìí fi ń mọ rírì gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń sọ fún wa pé pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan wa oòrùn tó kù lókè yìí ó táṣọ gbẹ.
iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
You are welcome back to the program My Impact on Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. We have in the studio our guest, the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Oyo State, in person of Dr. Mutiu Agboke, who is ably represented by Mr. Popola Olayiwola, the Public Affairs Officer, INEC Oyo State. You mentioned the other time, I'd like to ask, how many political parties do we have in Oyo State right now?
Presently, we have 17. 17. Present in Oyo State.
Can you mention them?
Well, we have Accord, we have Action Alliance, we have African Action Congress, we have African Democratic Congress, we have Action Democratic Party, All Progressive Congress, All Progressive Grand Alliance, Allied People's Movement, Labour Party, New Nigeria People's Party, National Rescue Movement, People's Democratic Party, People's Redemption Party, Social Democratic Party, Young Progressive Party, Zenith Labour Party, Action People's Party, which is not presently available in Oyo State. Okay. Then we have Boots Party. So we have 17.
17 in Oyo State now.
Presence, yes.
Registered political parties. Yes. How many wards do you have in Oyo State?
Number of wards?
But how many polling units do we have?
Yes, we have 6,319 polling units in Oyo State.
6,000
out of the number of 2,934,107 registered voters in Oyo State. And don't forget that in this, I mentioned there are two ways to CVR. We have pre-registration and physical registration. Those pre-registration, those that visited our online, we have a total of 143,423 that visited, intending to do one thing, one thing or the other. But out of these, those that have completed, we have 98,579. 98,579 completed the registration exercise. So you discover that people don't think that once they finish the physical registration, they are done. No. You still have to do the physical registration. That's why you see the gap between the two. Some just ended it at the registration level, whereas they know they're supposed to come to complete it at the state office.
And we are using this medium to call on people to visit any local government INEC offices in your neighborhood to finish up your registration for the PVC. Now I would like to ask gratification.
Gratification.
Yes.
Gratification. Yes. Gratification. If I can understand what you are saying, vote buying. Am I right?
Yes.
Well, the commission is not resting on its ass to deal with this situation. Don't forget that one of our functions is, as a commission, is to arrange for annual examination and auditing of funds, accounts of political parties.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that because I have that question here.
Yeah. Because I just want to answer your yes.
Okay.
On issue of gratification, the commission is not keeping quiet on this. There is the 2020 Electoral Act yet to be appended to by the president.
Okay, sir.
Once it is signed into law, these are the things, the innovation we have that the commission will be implementing towards the 2023 general election. Now, having said that, the commission intends to set up teams to monitor election spending. And what do I mean by that? We want to say, okay, I want to be president, I want to be governor. Then the onus, the constitution allows us to go into your account and say, okay, what is the status of your account? Once you have said you want to start campaigning now.
Okay.
We have stakeholders.
Yes.
Our stakeholders in this area, we have the ICPC, EFCC.
Those are your own stakeholders?
Yes, they are all our stakeholders. We are not together. We are not alone. We all work hand in hand. Okay. DSS, all this, we put this machinery in place to ensure that they monitor the spending. Assuming now that, okay, you have to make big budget. We assume that the budget you are claiming to have in your account supposed to drop a bit. But if we discover anything that it's not in line with what we expected, then this agency will now come in place, swing into action to ensure that, okay, you do the right thing. Now, having said that, there is another team, we call it finance monitoring team.
Okay.
This finance monitoring team, they are to ensure that, it has been said on many occasions that the electorates involve themselves in vote buying, the politician and what have you. Yes. Now, what the commission intends to do is to ensure that this monitoring team will be as if they are part of the electorate.
Okay.
Kind of, let me put it, DSS, so to speak.
Okay. Intelligence.
Yes, but they will not know. So that's what the commission is trying to do now, that they will put in place this pocket of so-called electorate among them to monitor what is going on. And once you are found culpable, then the commission has the right to deal with the situation. Yes.
Even when it's not your own fund or your money.
Of course, I mentioned that one of our functions is
one of your functions.
Yes. So we have a department that is called Election and Parties Monitoring. That's their function, to monitor what is going on.
Because when I came by this, one of your functions, I think that's what you stated there. The part 1 of the 3rd schedule of the 1999 Constitution, part of your function is to examine to organize annual examination and auditing of funds and accounts of political parties and publish reports on such and audit for published information. Have you ever done this before?
Yes, we do it. If you could remember, this kind of thing happened in Ondo sometimes back, where the commission caught some and they were prosecuted accordingly. I mentioned that there is going to be new electoral act once the president signed into law. These are the things the commission is trying to inculcate into the new electoral act so as to make it more functional.
Okay. So all the political parties, you audit their funds before the election,
before and after
the election. Okay. What is the percentage of youth participation in politics and the PVC registration?
Let me say, youth have been forthcoming in this area of participating in especially the CVR. They have been forthcoming in it. But if I should get the percentage, let me quickly check it. It has been quite encouraging in terms of youth participation in this CVR exercise. But when it comes to the electioneering process itself, it seems youth tend to sit back and watch, which we don't want for such to happen in this coming 2023 general election. So we are encouraging them not only that you have to register for PVC, but you still have to participate, take an active part in electioneering process when the time comes around.
Because when you were mentioning your stakeholders,
yes,
I think youth should be part of your stakeholders.
Yeah, we have youth as part of our stakeholders. We have all of them.
And the community leaders.
We have the community-based organization. We have the NGO in charge of youth empowerment and what have you. We have all of them, and we always call them to any of our any of our meetings that we have. And if you look at the age group of those that have so far participated in this continuous voter registration as youth, almost 6,744,798. 6,704,798
that have participated.
Yes, if you compare with others, youth takes the lion's share. The artisan, business, housewife, farming, fishing, public servants, students, all they take lower percentage compared with youth participation.
That means the youth can be agents of
change,
sensitization.
Yes. In fact, one of the students from the group UI students, they came to the commission 2 weeks or a week ago, just soliciting for how they can come in and even assist. And we said we are ready to partner with you, and that is the essence of CVR, to ensure that this thing gets to the grassroots system. Not only that, not quite long, a week or thereabout, we went to UI to sensitize students UI about 33 from the 33 local government areas in Oyo State. They came together that we should come to sensitize them on CVR. So we've always been doing this.
Are they doing it at the local government levels? At the local government level too?
You mean
this sensitization?
Yes, they
of
do.
The thing?
They do. Even before we started, we had a series of sensitization exercise at the grassroots level, at the state level. We have gone even to the governor to solicit their support in terms of sensitization of even the public servants, because they should not be left alone in this exercise. So we have gone down to the grassroots system.
So what normally leads to inconclusive polls?
Inconclusive polls. Definitely, there is guidelines and rules of the commission. There are 3 documents the commission INEC is established by the law.
Okay.
And it's based on these three things I will mention: the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and guidelines, regulation of INEC. These three are the documents we operate in.
Okay.
So based on these three legal documents we have, then we operate. Okay. We are not just operating in a vacuum. We operate under a law. Now, on the issue of what you mentioned,
is that
what you mentioned, the last one?
I just asked a question.
Yeah, the question.
Oh.
You skip my mind as well. So, but what I'm saying is that we have a framework in which we operate, and it is based on this that we now carry out our duties. Now, okay, I could remember inconclusive election. You see, based on our guidelines, once we discover that a particular place has not met up with what is required by law, then we cannot say let's go for another election in this area. Okay. Otherwise, we don't normally allow for such. But if it happens, definitely the law allows us to do the needful to make sure that everything is in place.
Okay. Now, what are the constitutional and statutory functions and responsibilities of INEC?
Thank you very much. Basically, there are 8 of them.
Okay.
First is to organize, undertake, supervise all elections of the offices of the president, the vice president, governor, deputy governor, the senate, house of reps, house of assembly, except that of local government. You know, OISEC does that. We don't involve ourselves in a state local government election.
Okay.
Don't forget that we are not just to conduct, but we want to ensure that we have credible, free and fair election.
Okay.
The second one is to register political parties. As I mentioned earlier, we have 18 political parties in Nigeria.
17 are functional in Oyo State.
Then we have to monitor the organization and operation of the political parties, including their finances, conventions, congresses, and party primaries.
Okay.
Don't forget, we have 3 now: direct, indirect, and consensus.
Okay.
Then all this, we monitor them. Then we have to arrange for annual examination and auditing of funds, accounts of political parties, publish a report on such examination, audit for public information. The next one is arrange and conduct registration of persons qualified to vote, prepare, maintain, and revise the register of voter for the purpose of any election. And this is where CVR comes in. We are to monitor political party campaign, provide rules and regulation which shall govern the political parties. We are to conduct voter and civic education. We are to promote knowledge of sound democratic election processes or referendum required to be conducted. So these are the functions of INEC.
So you said if anybody is found wanting on any of, there are crimes or there are penalties for those who are
penalties for all these things. If you violate them, then there are penalties for it. For instance, the issue of maybe you are caught in good buying.
Okay.
You have to pay a fine of 500,000 naira. Or
but they can afford that.
Or
any politician can afford that.
500,000 or 12 months imprisonment or both. In other words, you can be served the two. So you pay, then at the same time you go to jail. So it goes on and on like that. And again, you do mention I forgot to mention that I told you that we have under the new Electoral Act, we have jacked up the ceiling for that is expected of you to spend when you are doing your campaign. Initially for president it was 1 billion. Now under the new Electoral Act it has been jacked up to 5 billion for you to spend. Then the
for
governor,
a campaign.
Yes, once you get beyond that, then our people will just swing into action and check what is happening. For governor, initially it was 2 million, then it's now 1 billion.
1 billion.
Senate, 40 million, now 100 million.
Okay.
Rep 30 million, now 70 million, on and on like that. So it's based on the new electoral act.
For governorship?
Governorship from 2 million to 1 billion.
Okay. So anyone that has spent
beyond,
above,
then that is where our monitoring team comes in.
Okay. We'll be right back.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your day has gotten a lot better. You can stand a chance of winning amazing prizes every month on Aloore Radio. How to participate? Follow us on our Facebook page on Aloore Radio. Share our program links on all your social media platforms. The person with the highest shared links win our amazing monthly prizes. Share, listen to Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
You're welcome back. You can reach us on the studio line 090-3985-3731. If you want to make any comment or contribution to the discourse, what are the challenges or requirements for a successful and credible election?
Requirements for
the challenges apart, then requirements.
The challenges we've been having is the present and CBR we're having now, the non-channel attitude of people.
Okay.
I don't care attitude, fire brigade attitude, people sitting back to wait to the last day. Then you start them trooping in, rushing when they ought to have done what is needful at the right time. I said we are on third schedule, third quarter now. It's probably my hand on the fourth quarter. Okay. After this fourth quarter, then CBR ceases preparation for
the printing of the
printing and all the necessary things. Now, the challenge we have our people is they always wait till the last time. Then guess what? It will still burden on pressure on our part.
Yes.
So that's I will implore them not to wait till the last time when they will now be coming to collect their PVs. Let me say that up to now we have over 700,000
uncollected PVC.
So people are not coming out to collect these things. Though don't forget that we still have those that have relocated, those that have died in one way or the other. We still be among these over 700,000 uncollected
PVC.
Again, the issue of we've just created new polling units.
Okay.
People are not making use of these new polling units. We've just added 1,607 polling units to make 6,390 polling units in Oyo State. If you monitor the Abuja council election that was held last Saturday, the commission mentioned that we have about over 500 polling units where we don't have voters.
Yes.
Why? Because people are not relocating, transferring to these new polling units. And that's what we don't want the same thing to repeat itself in Oyo State, even the general election. People should endeavor to visit our the local government and say, okay, this is where I belong now. Then it will be transferred. Okay. It's a matter of 5 minutes, you are done. So we implore our the registrant to please make use of these new polling units, so that the existing one will not be overcrowded, thereby giving a lot of unnecessary pressure on the old ones.
Yes. So you mentioned the requirements. What are those things you need to put in place for a credible, free and fair election? We have
started. What you are doing now is part of it.
Sensitization,
which you have been doing. We have gone to so many places to sensitize the people. CBR is ongoing. This is, if you don't have a clean registered voter, there won't be a credible legislation. So this first thing first, which we want to have a clean register of voter. Having done that, then we can now start thinking of election. Once you have this in place, the rest is simple. But we have gone to our various stakeholders, telling them that they need to come out, register, so that we have a credible, free and fair election come 2023.
I think you need to work hand in hand with community leaders too.
We do.
Because they have these people at their fingertips. So they can enlighten, mobilize them for registration.
You see, I mentioned that we have community-based organizations. We do normally liaise with them to talk to their subjects to ensure that they come out to participate in this CVR exercise. And at the same time, when the election comes around, then they should take active part in it. So we do have cordial relationship with them.
Okay. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you so much. You have dealt a lot with all we've asked, and we hope when next time we invite you to this program, you won't hesitate to come.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism and the studio manager, Mrs. Boyeda Joe, I appreciate your coming to the program today.
Thank you for having us.